What's up, guys? I'm Lionel the Builder back again with another video, and today I want to talk about why it is 100% not too late to learn how to code, or you should learn how to code if you can, from my perspective. Why I think that people who want to learn to code should be learning right now, especially with AI, with ChatGPT, and with the ability to just be able to create anything. I know that the tech market is so bad, but sometimes I feel like we get a little bit too hung up on getting a job in tech and forget about freelancing and about just being able to create anything that you want. Using my story as an example, in around COVID time, I was running a crypto startup. It was going to be a text-based game connected to universal base income, where we were trying to make it to where you would generate crypto by playing the game. Now, this is something that we are still working on, which is why I wanted to learn how to code, because our biggest expense was our code reviewer of this thing. We had a team overseas that was helping us build the thing, but then no one on our team here knew how to code. So we had to outsource the code review just to make sure that the project was being properly managed from someone on our side as well. And I always felt like, well, for sure that was our biggest expense as a company. And I felt like I should learn how to code so that I could do that, especially with me being the founder of this project. So if you're a creative person like that, I use that as my motivation to then go out and learn how to code. Luckily, my job was truck driving at the time when I did go back to work. As crypto crashed, I basically went back to work and as a truck driver and found 100 devs where their videos are 3 hours long. Being at me driving 12 hours a day, I would just play the videos over and over again and then go home and practice. And during my lunch break and stuff like that, I would practice as well. I participated in a hackathon. My team ended up winning the hackathon. It's a long story, and you guys can watch. I'll put videos in here if you want to hear that full story, but this is more going to be about why you should still learn to code. And I just want to basically say that that's what I did. I learned to build things, personal projects. We could go look at my portfolio real quick. I'm freestyling. It's no script, so I'm trying to think, how should I tell this story? But here's a site that I learned how to build, and then I built it, Gatsby JS, not overthinking it. I learned how to use GitHub, use Netlify to host it, and then started. Oh well, we just finished the redesign of the Digital Builder 757 site. It's a Next.js front end, Firebase backend. And we're still working on it. This is where we're gonna launch our beta version of the game. So if you wanna be a part of this launch, by the way, links are in the description. Join the Discord, send me a message, join the community, hit me up. So I also created a palette management system here for this warehouse that I used to work for back in the day, and just basically saying, through opportunities like this, I ended up getting hired as a full stack developer for a startup, and I'm still freelancing as well. And if you feel like you are interested in doing this stuff, reach out to me. I will give you the proper resources to get started learning how to code on your own. But enough of my story. I found this cool video here of this guy basically saying how he learned to code after 30, and I figured we would watch and react to this as well. Let's get it.
At first, I thought I wouldn't be able to. I became a senior developer after I hit 30 years old. I don't have a college degree in CS, and I was teaching English at the time, but I couldn't see myself being 40 years old and teaching young kids ESL. At first, I thought I wouldn't be able to learn a new skill like coding, because I thought I was too old. I was scared to fail, but it's scarier not trying. So the way I learned how to code was I went here and there looking things up on the internet, but I found myself going to a boot camp, and the boot camp experience was really good for me, actually. It was pretty expensive. I needed to, make a huge investment on myself. The skills I learned at the boot camp were very.
Okay, so he went to a boot camp, and I didn't really speak on that a lot, but 100 Dev, they have a program which is similar to a boot camp. And I've been thinking about being a tutor to help people make this transition. So the link is in the description for that. It's my Calendly. But yeah, just talk to me about it if you need further help. If you wanted somebody to be like a guide in a sense on learning how to code and starting to build things, putting yourself out there, networking in your area and stuff like that. But yeah, let's keep it going.
Very basic, just JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and PHP, and MySQL. It was a 3-month course. I learned a lot of the basics and fundamentals. Would I say it's worth it? Yes, but there's only so much that you can learn in 3 months. Close the gap between me and new computer science degree students and the younger wave developers coming in. I really use networking as a way to kind of body up a lot of these CEOs or companies, people that could get me a job at a company. And I think networking was very important for me. And at the time I was
All of my opportunities have came from networking, which is why that's definitely part of what we're going to encourage to people, putting yourself physically around other developers. Also remotely, I've recently met people, developers who meet on Twitter. I think I need to make a Twitter now and get up there and start posting some of my videos as well, just to, expand my network. Of course, LinkedIn. Use meetup.com. I believe that's highly underrated. And join an online community like the Digital Builders. But yeah, let's keep going.
partying a lot and, trying to have fun, being young. I closed the gap by just, even if I go and network and party, I'd come home and I'd try to learn something new. I'd stay up really late, stay up all night sometimes, want to learn. Another way I closed the gap was I had a couple senior programmer friends around me that I used to party with, and I just ask a bunch of questions, and I'd probably be that annoying person that kept asking, how do I do this? How do I do this? But in the end, they just told me, dude, just Google it. So I Googled it and I read about it and I looked at the documentation, the skills that I needed to learn to close the gap.
Looking at documentation is always going to be your superpower as well. Slowing down on these things, zooming in, and of course, understanding how computer systems work. I'm recently going back and filling in all of the gaps in my knowledge. I'm trying to find the proper way to capture that as well and to turn that into like a series. Because if I'm learning and going through this stuff, going back and running it back again, then I should be showing people at the same time and capturing it, and so that we could do like a learn together kind of thing. But let's continue.
Were just the fundamentals. I think the fundamentals, and obviously trending technologies like JavaScript frameworks like Vue and React. I bet on myself a lot, and I went to a boot camp. It was expensive, and I didn't have much savings, and I wasn't in the best living situation, but I bet on myself. I took that money, I ran, and I didn't look back. With an attitude like you won't give up and you bet on yourself, there's no losing. Learning to code is
That's one thing that I also noticed too, because being that we do have a community, I meet a lot of aspiring developers, and I know that there is a fired up point before the initial hurdle where you're very, very encouraged. You haven't applied for 20 jobs yet or whatever, and you're just now learning. You've got that initial spark, as I call it, but then you really find out when it becomes hard who is going to continue and push through that and keep coming back. Most people try to learn the code like a couple times and then they quit for a month, they take a month off, then they come back. But then there's a lot of people who don't come back that second round. I noticed that one thing is the pressure of course, like not having enough funds, not having a big amount saved up, having too much time still working. And then when you don't get that initial like job on the first try, on the first month of even trying, and your networking hasn't worked yet or whatever, so let's not act like it's easy, because it's definitely not easy. But still, I mean, in my perspective, especially since I've seen success, though, I've made it through the struggle and have seen success, has gotten gigs and gotten the ball rolling. For me, I came too far to stop. Like, things are going to keep going higher, but I still feel like other people can join, you know, then that there's still enough clients and enough opportunities and enough ways to where you could even make the opportunity for yourself if you make the company, if you start working on your personal brand on LinkedIn, if you start you know, teaching as well with your journey, like this person here, he's making videos now as well.
Code is difficult, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean you shouldn't pursue it. 2024, the state of coding is, it seems like a lot of junior developers positions are being taken away by AI. There's confusion on whether you should do it or not. But if you want to be a problem solver and you want to sit in front of a computer and you see yourself doing that and being able to fight with the computer and not give up until you find a solution, coding is okay for you. And there's a lot of fulfillment that comes with programming. It makes you feel good. You know, if you're working on a problem all day and you figure it out, I think there's no better feeling. I've definitely been there, stayed up all night trying to figure something out. I mean, I've built a couple apps now at a couple companies, a real estate value report company, a kickboard company, a journaling application for mental health, some other social networking platform, e-commerce. It's all very fulfilling. And once you finish, there's no better feeling that you can get. Trust me. I really want to say something, and it's if I can do it, you can do it too.
Yeah, so there you go, man. I was about to say, I've had opportunities to build and work on some really cool things as well, and think that like there is no better feeling than that. And that's why for certain people you belong in tech, you know. And I just assume if you're watching my videos, and especially if you've made it to the end, like, come on, man, you are supposed to be creating something. And sure, you could go back and do something that like is boring but guaranteed, but here it's just super rewarding being able to work from your computer, work remotely, you know, make things happen, wake up, work when you want to work, you know. But it is a struggle though. It's not easy. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up here. I'm Lionel the Builder. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.